stories and listening. You're helping us so much, and we hope we're helping you. Just getting stuff out of our bodies is helping us heal. So, again, my name is Cynthia Tom, and I'm also a painter, mixed media. I love to do big installation. I'd like to take over this room and just fill it with immersive things.
Awesome.
This is part of what I'm starting to think is going to be a lot bigger piece, a lot more installations. This is called Flying Lessons, Inquire Within. And now I'm calling it Chapter 1, and I'll tell you why. So Flying Lessons has to do with rising consciousness, increasing awareness, enlightenment. And Inquire Within, my partner Chris helped me with the second part of that title, and that's to inquire within yourself. Because the healing has to come from you. The change has to come from you individually, and that's what each one of the artists is in here doing. So my hungry ghost that kept flaring up actually during this whole exhibition is that any kind of conflict, any kind of disagreement, I feel like I'm going to get in trouble. And there's this real feeling of danger that bubbles up in my belly, in my gut, and it scares me, but I have to push through it because I'm like the leader of the program, right? I have to stand up for our branding, what we want, how we want to do things. And so that kept coming up for me during this show and a lot of other things. When you're running a program, you run up against people that want to push back on you. And being raised how I was, I just realized that, or maybe I already knew it, but I finally put it together. My parents were Chinese, raised in San Francisco, Chinatown. My mother was sold by my grandfather for opium numerous times before the age of 12. Like from 6 to 12, he would trade her to the dealer, her body, for his opium. And then growing up in Chinatown, if you left Chinatown, this is 1900, so before maybe the 50s, you could get beat up or killed or die and no one would care. And so my parents brought me up to keep my head down, don't draw attention to yourself, any conflict, your fault, just walk away. So this painting ended up being an exercise in wanting to speak up for any feminine energy. It can be male or female, but any feminine energy that's been shut down or silenced, whether it's, because my grandmother's job in China before the 1920s was to kill her baby sisters as they were born, which is very common in China. Like they usually drown them. I'm sorry I'm saying hard stuff, but this is, I think some of you have this background. So what does that do to me down the road? So those patterns pass on. So what I'm trying to do is own the pattern and fight back by gathering feminine energies together. I want to gather them so there's strength in numbers. And over time, start to have them voice their power, voice what they want to change, be willing to fight and draw attention to yourself. And the funny thing is, when I was doing this, I was taking pictures, and I started going close up with my camera. And I was trying to figure out what color. I was going to paint these different colors, because if any of you know my work, I tend to do really colorful clothing. I love Christian Lacroix, Christian Dior, fashion, Paris fashion, and I paint like surreal dresses and things. So this is kind of a departure for me. But what I did was I painted the colors back to the dull color. And when I did this, I felt like they were talking to me. If you bring your camera over and do this, they kind of look like they're alive. And I felt like they were saying they're not ready yet. They're just gathering their strength in numbers. And I feel like the artist in this show is part of my, I'm trying to find a different word than tribe, because I feel like that's taking somebody else's word. But these are my people. And you guys being here, I feel like you're part of our group of gathering strength, because we have to protest now. So right now this is chapter 1, where they're kind of quiet, a few are rising. So I'm hoping by chapter 4, because I'm going to repaint this, not exactly, but do this at least 4 times. And by the time, I want to start imagining women ready to speak out, and not being afraid, and not being shut down, and not being silenced, and not being shamed. Because we even shame each other. We have to stop doing that. women have to stop doing that. So that's where am I, Nora, on time?
You still have 3.5 minutes.
Okay. So kind of that's this piece, and I hope you'll stay tuned because it will keep growing in look and color and intention, and I hope I grow with it. And then over here, really quickly, is called The Swing. This whole show is dedicated to my mother, Sue Tom, who was part of A Place of Her Own. She just passed last year at the age of 92. And she's the reason why I learned how to just speak my truth, because she never helped. She wasn't too much of a fighter because she still had that fear, but she didn't hide any family secrets. Of course, her brothers and sisters weren't too happy about it, but she shared things with me when I did art installations that's how I know what happened to her. So this is her swing, and it was her place of refuge in our backyard. So that's her piece. So that's me. Is there any questions? I forgot to have everybody ask if there were questions. Anyway, that's okay. We're going to move on to that side of the room now. So thank you very much.